EnemyGG Gaming Bets. We accept bets on computer games online since 2011. Referral system for regular users and the first deposit bonus. Gaming devices store and the best choice of payment systems. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, Counter-Strike and StarCraft, World of Tanks and League of Legends. EGB.com. You know for sure who's going to win.
G2A.com, the best video game store ever! Fast as lightning, solid as a rock, cheap as duck! What's more, you can sell on it because it's also a marketplace. Remember G2A.com, the best video game store ever!
Okay. Welcome back. Game 2. Last game of the night, last series of the night, last everything of the night. Let's just get straight into this, honestly. EnemyGG against Elite Wolves. Smash Pudge incoming. EnemyGG again with the Invoker Abaddon. Okay. Smash Pudge. Let's see what it can do. My co-caster, Pandago, are you looking forward to this one?
I'm pretty excited, yeah. It's a pretty good hero against what EnemyGG likes to do as well. Like their group of and running you stuff, if you can pull someone in and burst them down before they can react, it's definitely good. But I'm not 100% certain. I guess he might play it in the off lane.
5 seconds remaining.
We'll see. I don't know where it's going to go. But in general, Pudge does not do very well against Invoker mid, so I would not expect it. What the heck?
He's back.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they like scrimmed him or something, or they're just like, we need to ban something. Techies.
Seems good.
Yeah. Like Ursa, like you said, right?
Like the Slug ban is like BSJ's hero, Slug, that's fair enough. But not banning either Ursa or Terrorblade, and now going for Mirana. This is like one of my Dota 1 pub games back on Garena, honestly. Every single freaking game there'd be someone who picks Shadow Fiend, someone who picks Mirana, someone who picks Pudge, and they just go for like all the skill shots and all the fancy heroes. Elite Wolves, they're bringing it back.
Maybe they got SF as their last pick, they'll have all the skill shots, then they'll win. They'll just out-skill shot them. Fortunately or unfortunately, this is not Pudge Wars, though, so I guess we'll never know. But,
seconds remaining.
I don't know how I feel about Mirana picked into Abaddon. Like, that hero's okay. I don't think it's a bad hero, but I don't like it against 5-man. And already with the Invoker, Abaddon, and just, you know, the general theme of what EnemyGG likes to pick, like you said, they like to group up. And Mirana's not really that good against that. Like, you can throw an arrow maybe, but if they have Abaddon, it counters that. You can invis, but if they have detection, then it's not that good against that. So you have Starfall. And picking a hero so you can cast Starfall is not the best.
Suboptimal.
Yeah. I mean, it's great for, like, snowballing lanes with Bane. If they can really snowball the lanes early and just crush them with arrows and sleeps and stuff and just, you know, not let them ever get to a point of being able to group up because they're so behind from the laning stage. That's pretty much the only strength of that hero in this situation. But if their lanes crumble and they fall apart and they don't get the kills, the game's pretty much over. They're just going with the same freaking heroes. Ogre?
I don't see why not. I can maybe foresee a Terrorblade instead of the Ursa. Just the fact you'll have illusions to like block arrows and hooks and stuff like that would be a little more interesting than just having the Ursa out there. But Elite Wolves, do you go all out on this? Do you go, I don't know, Pudge off lane, Mirana safe lane carry with a Bane and set up for that? You don't need a Shadow Demon here, so you don't need additional setup.
Remaining.
Where do you go? Are you just actually looking for these single pick-offs over and over again? And in that case, I don't know, add in some AoE, give yourself some team fight at least with, I don't know, Kunkka, Magnus, something like that. It's interesting where they're actually starting to divert this draft into, but yeah, EnemyGG, that's pretty much standard for them so far. Alacrity from Invoker, Shield from Abaddon, Bloodlust from Ogre. Just want to pump the steroids into BSJ, boost him up, and get him as strong as you possibly can.
we'll see if they actually go. I mean, regardless of what hero they pick, they're definitely going with that sort of boost the BSJ train up. So, and I think any of them can fit at this point as well. They're all pretty good. I'm more interested to see how Elite Wolves round out their lineup. It's pretty narrow at this point. Like, all they really have is Pickoff, and like their team fight's pretty mediocre. Okay, that helps their team fight situation and their ability to push the lanes. He can't be like the Sand King we saw earlier, though, where he's just like sacrificed and he's just so behind. He needs to snowball. He needs to get kills. If he can snowball and get a blink dagger, then this game is very, very within their reach, because he'll be able to defend towers very easily with Epicenter.
I guess looking back and thinking about the Techies ban, it kind of makes sense. Because Techies, he's kind of annoying if you like, plant landmines around, and they use more as scouting than actually killing. You scout at where the Bane's rotating for the Nightmare, you scout where Mirana's roaming, and just know what's going on. The Juggernaut ban, a little bit unusual. Don't think we've seen BSJ play too much of that. It's going to be, Loomdun Venge, Ogre Magi for Frozen, Abaddon for Sovereign, Slayer Invoker, so it's BSJ's hero last, for sure. But not banning... It's like Elite Wolves don't know what EnemyGG like to run.
That's very possible. I mean, I don't know, maybe they just haven't watched the last couple days, or they haven't looked it up, but maybe they're not afraid of the Ursa. I think that they're more, at this point, like I said, their best bet to win this game is to snowball the lanes, and Juggernaut is a very strong laner in comparison to Ursa. Ursa's a pretty good laner, but he still kind of does struggle with, like, if he gets arrowed, comboed, or stuff like that, or Pudge, like, gets on top of him and, like, hooks him, and then they brain sap him and stuff. Actually, Ursa does pretty good against Pudge, too. Oh, they're going to steal the Ursa. Alright. Didn't see that one coming, did I? Yeah, okay. It makes a little more sense now. I kind of like that, because I really do think the EnemyGG was just actually, like, sitting there giggling, like, they're just going to give us Ursa again. I mean, that happens all the time, trust me. So, but for it to happen like this in the last pick, when they're going to have to think different. They'll probably go for the Terrorblade now, if that's one of the... I mean, Terrorblade and Peel are still both pretty good picks here.
Yeah.
I mean, Sand King with Ags, the new Sand King Ags destroys Peel. Like, that hero does not enjoy playing against that. So I would definitely be leaning more towards Terrorblade, because it's a little more early game oriented, and you can kind of push towers down before the Sand King comes online. But
10 seconds.
And if you get jumped by the Ursa, you kind of swap the HP back onto him.
Yeah, and also, and you have shield to, like, take off the stuns on Terrorblade. Oh, there you go. And so they're going to go with the Terrorblade push strat. I like Elite Wolves' draft this game. I kind of liked it last game too, but they just didn't go the right items. So they have Van. It's a core Mirana. It's going to be a support Pudge. They're going to roam Bane Pudge, and they're going to have Ursa, it looks like probably safe lane, off lane Sand King. So they're just going to try and pressure every lane with their, like, keeping the pressure on them with Pudge and Bane. The big problem they're going to run into again this game is that dual off lane of Abaddon, Ogre Magi is going to be a pain in the butt. So they either need to completely sack the lane, which they might do. They might actually swap the lanes and put Ursa top, or even in mid, and just try and dodge it, which is, I think, what they should do. And then they'll just try and pressure with the Pudge and the Bane. Keep the lanes chaotic.
Prepare for battle.
Ewo is running towards the bottom, though.
Okay. They have swapped out a player. I've only just realized this. So Old Chihuahua is actually now playing in place of Musco. So swap someone out. He's going to be sitting on the Bane. Doomsday Pudge, like you said, going to be roaming around a little bit. Van Mirana. Wraithband first. And I guess you get pulled a couple of tangos. It's going to be the mid Mirana. Smash off lane Sand King. We'll find out. They do smoke up. They miss out on the Bane, which is... It's kind of interesting, seeing as Bane usually goes in first with a Nightmare to set up. But... Sand King can do that job just as well with his Burrow Strike level 1. The 4-man movement, though, from enemy. Frozen Ogre up on the front lines. BSJ starts off with 7 armor, but only 500 HP. So against the pure damage of Hook, the stuns, and the magic damage, he's not going to have a great time in this level 1 fight.
I think they didn't smoke him intentionally to try and bait it, and then they tried to initiate with the Pudge and failed.
Whoops.
But, yeah. I've noticed that Ewolves really like to do these level 1 smoke plays, which is pretty decent now that they only cost 50 gold.
Frozen, stunned up, and then hooked back. first blood over onto your Ogre, but that reflect, holy crap, Smash is dropping faster. Nightmare's onto him, but the right-click attack's coming out. Sovereign just needs a couple more punches. Burrow Strike across them. Loomdon does get that initial kill. As E-Wolves really paying for their insolence, and the hook just misses Frozen down on the bottom lane as well.
He mangoed for that one too. That's huge. That was definitely in favor of EnemyGG. They just overextended too much. Once you miss that first hook, it's kind of dangerous to fight that.
Did Pudge have a mango?
He did, yeah. He used it for that last hook.
So he used 3 hooks that fight.
Man, that was a pretty big loss there for you Wolves. That was the power of the Terrorblade Reflect in the 5-man fight. Holy cow, that was crazy. Just like won the fight for them by himself.
Yeah, 50 mana, 22-second cooldown. You know, if the fight extended, he could have got another one out there. And then we come back down towards bottom lane. Oh, hello, Ogre plus Abaddon. Ewo does have Earth Shock level 1. There's no Fury Swipes or anything like that, which potentially could have got himself a good foothold in this lane. But the Bane with Nightmare should be able to stay any kind of aggression with that Nightmare to slow them down until the shield comes out. Takes it off people. The mid Mirana against Invoker, though. 54 base damage on Mirana. She did receive a couple of buffs over the past 2 patches, so yeah, she's not as awful as she used to be in these kind of core roles, especially in a 1v1 scenario. And against an Invoker, he's got 2 Fairy Fires and no Talisman. They are relatively close on the old base attack damage.
Yeah, it's actually not the worst matchup.
Abaddon's going to die here, actually. Yep. Down he goes. Smash came in with a rotation. And it's going to be Smash roaming Sand King, but the Ogre, he's got a different idea. He doesn't have the Orb of Venom. And Smash with the boots should be able to get himself a touch. He had Burrow
That was
Strike.
a little fail. Yeah, he was trying to turn around and set it up. I think his plan was to Burrow Strike through. He might die anyways. It's gonna be pretty. I think he's got one more hit. Great. Oh, Brain Sap too. I didn't even see that. But he was gonna try and Burrow Strike through and run through the other way, and then have Bane block it, and it just quickly. Oh my lord! Some are dead again.
This Ursa.
Well, remember what I said about this game is winnable for Ewolves if the lanes devolve into chaos? This is what I would call chaos. Like, they're definitely in a very good spot now, even with just those 2 kills, because the Ursa's going to be able to pretty much dominate this lane if he gets any regen. What is Smash doing? Oh my lord.
Where is he? Towards the mid lane? Is he dead to tower? He is.
Alright. Sometimes you just feed to the Dire without getting hit. I think a dot is appropriate there. I would probably dot myself. Any Dota. There you go.
Not
I don't even, like, what was the kill plan there? I just sometimes don't even, like, what's going through his mind? He's like, got stunned, 2 tower hits worth of HP. Oh, to be fair, this last patch, though, they changed it so the towers do more damage, so maybe he just didn't calculate it down to the, like, 1 HP he would have had. Pudge is doing some cute lane pulls here.
Ven should have this, though.
Yeah. Cute, but unsuccessful.
Well, that didn't work out as intended, and BSJ just gets it back to where it should be. Okay, 3-3, 3 minutes in.
We're playing Dota 2 still, I'm pretty sure.
It's definitely a video game that's happening right now between these 2 teams. Oh, Doomsday, look at the damage! He denies himself, though. BSJ, a little too much damage for his own goods, dropping the Pudge low enough. Get that Rot Suicide out. So, Ogre Abaddon lane at bot. It's annoying for the Ursa. You know, 9 last hits, but he can turn and fight a little bit like this against the Ogre. Abaddon is farming reasonably well himself, actually, 10 and 1.
Yeah, they're going even. It's definitely in favor of Dire again. This lane is just so strong. I mean, I'm really surprised they gave them this lane again. But it's like, if you're going to give them this lane, you need to pick a hero that can either sit down there and just, you know, get experience that doesn't need the farm, or you need to contest it, and they're not really doing either. I really expected them to do an Ursa aggressive with like Potom, Bane, and the Ursa, and then just have the Pudge at bottom end experience because he doesn't really need items, right? He just needs the levels.
Can Pudge suicide? Yes, he
yeah.
can.
Getting those suicides at least doesn't count as kills either. It'd be like 5-3 right now.
Nothing doing for enemy. Bane comes in for the Invoker again, but Slayer knows what's up. The Observer Ward on his high ground will spot.
I don't think that sees it, does it?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't. Like if you put the obs in the bottom right corner of your screen, you'll see it's just outside of that green circle. Barely scratching.
Oh. So that's pretty unfortunate.
Smashes down a bot though, with the Nightmare onto Frozen. No, waiting, still waiting. He gets the stun down and misses the Burst Strike onto anybody. The Bane is the one that's dropping here with a shield or anything onto this Ogre. He's going to survive and get himself away. Loomdun comes in with a stun. No, the Sandstorm's there for Smash. But that is one monumental cock-up by E-Wolves. Instead of getting a free easy kill on the Ogre, they lose the Bane.
That's just the greed. I mean, I don't think the second stun realistically had any chance of turning into another kill. So it's kind of like unnecessary. I mean, sure, getting double stuns is good, but not when it makes your life that much harder and is very unlikely to set anything else up.
Oh,
Air diving,
Mango stun into death. That one worked. That one worked a lot better. So the Invoker versus Mirana lane, it's relatively even, right? Mirana's got a few more denies, a few more last hits, but Invoker hasn't died.
Yeah, they basically Mirana hasn't died yet either, but it's like the Invoker probably is going to scale better than the Mirana, so trading is pretty favorable for EnemyGG. Looks like they might finally catch him though. Oh. He has the ward, he spots it. Oh my, that was so close. That was one of those, like, he ran into fog to avoid it.
I mean, I was going to say, the fact that E-Wolves lineup, like you said, is basically about winning lanes and killing shit over and over again with the Bane Mirana, the Sand King Ursa. They just want to get kill after kill. If they can't kill the Invoker, who's now given mid for free, they'll get a Vengeful Spirit. Or will they? They've got to. They've got to. Brain Sap Starstorm. Van just going to click him down. Stick charges there. He'll get a few hits in, though. Chasing back behind the tier 1 tower and Pudge. Maybe looking for the hook onto this Terrorblade. Ooh, bottom lane. Something dies down there. So a 1-for-1 trade, and every single one of these trades, enemy... It's 5-5, but enemy just always feel like they're on top.
Yeah, because usually when they're getting the trades, they're not diving under towers and stuff, so they're not losing as much regen. Like, that's one of the things that you really don't think about too much when you're playing Dota, how much of your HP regen you're giving up in the laning stage to get kills. If you're using, like, a salve and 2 tangos to dive some guy and get a kill, it really wasn't worth it, probably. But, and that gave space to Invoker to out-level the Mirana by just a little bit. Mirana still has his Haze in his bottle, though, so he has a chance to rotate with this and potentially, like, maybe kill DSJ or even, I guess, Sovereign. Sovereign's not 6 still, so they could try and get a kill on Sovereign before he hits 6, but it's a pretty difficult kill without Ursa. This ward, oh, it's gone, actually, I was going to say. Smash is set up on mid to try and get a kill.
Slayer's pretty quick. Oh, they kill the Pudge up at top. I'm just going to stick down towards mid.
Yeah, those Pudges, I mean, those deaths shouldn't really be happening, though, in my opinion. I'm assuming he's just walking up and getting slowed by the Terrorblade and then stunned and dead, or vice versa.
Smash just uses Sandstorm mid, but it allows for the 2-man tornado into EMP. Oh my goodness.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Poor little Sand King. He's got bottle boots and a smoke. He'll get the bounty rune up at top, allowing Van to head down to get the arcane rune down at bottom lane. What are your thoughts on this arcane rune, like, overall?
Oh, sorry, I'm not muted. I like that a lot. I like how it kind of, as much as everyone hates the League of Legends terminology, it brings a lot of, like, the caster carries, like the late game carries that have really long cooldown spells, like, into, like, makes them way more competitive. And it helps a lot of mid heroes that kind of, like, have the, instead of benefiting, I mean, it kind of benefits the, like, Lenas and the Quaps and the people that have spammable spells, but more than that, it benefits the heroes that, like, want to nuke out lanes but can't do it as effectively.
Dragonite?
Yeah, any of those heroes like that. They need, like, 2 nukes to nuke something out. It allows them to be way more competitive in the mid lane. And in that sense, it's kind of like a regen rune for those heroes because it just lets you, like, farm and then take another rune instead. Ooh, dodge EMP with the Nightmare, that's nice. But it's definitely a nice addition. I like that rune a lot. Yuo is actually man-fighting them with his ultimate. He has another Fury Swipes in 2 seconds. If he can get that up, he's got 2 stacks on Abaddon. But he's going to have another shield, so he would just kill himself on him.
There's just battles everywhere. While I'm watching mid, there's a fight over in the Dire jungle where Pudge gets a pick off. He managed to force them out. Invoker dodged the arrow with a tornado, got himself away from that. Down in the Radiant jungle, someone dies, but they get the Ursa. Every single lane there's a little battle, a little skirmish happening, and now it's going to be happening mid again as they try and wrap around on this Invoker, but they see the Pudge coming in. Smoke wears off the hook. Pretty messy there as the tornado UMP will catch them both. Doomsday and Smash in a bit of trouble as this Van Mirana cannot catch a break. Smash is going to get clicked down. Nightmare's there and frozen. Is he the one in trouble? He'll get the kill initially, heals himself up, but the Dismember from Doomsday will catch him in the end, and Terrorblade, TPing aggressively with a reflect out. Mirana arrow to fly, captures BSJ, but Van, with no leap, with nothing left, and the hook missing, cannot save his teammate. Sent into another dimension by this Terrorblade, who's now level 8, 1400 gold. His Iron Talon is up. He's starting to become a little bit of a monster.
For sure. And he's going to use this meta to farm Ancients, which is pretty nice. He's snowballing pretty hard right now, for sure. And I think that's kind of a result of just the Pudge feeding a few too many kills away.
Slayer mid, he's there. Pudge looking for this Dismember and hook onto someone, but Smash, he's on the run. They turn to fight Doomsday. Look at their damage output here. The Vengeful Spirit, even with the level 1 Howl and Vengeance Aura, and the deny again from Doomsday, but Smash? That was very aggressive. Van is still trying to click down Slayer. He's got a leap available with the 5 stick charges as well, but I think they're going to chase this one down. Curse of the Avernus, slowing, boosting the rest of the teammates with a tornado from Slayer. Van is actually held underneath, or in between the trees and Sovereign. Walk straight into the Bane as well with Nightmare Brain Slap here. Ewo wants to battle this one out, stunned up, kited a little bit. Sovereign will try and slow him down, but they want Slayer. They want the Invoker. They'll get the Venge over on the side with the Pudge hook. I'm just wondering, can the Invoker escape? There's another hook in 5, but Slayer TP's out. He's gone. He's safe.
I mean, E-Wolves have this sort of bursty lineup where they need to catch someone and kill them instantly, and they're just kind of like lazily going in on the fights. They just like stun in, like hopefully some damage comes along and kills this guy, like the stuff that they're just always out of position. So it's really hurting them because if they do get behind, they're going to have no way to deal with this 5-man. Smash has a bottle and a stick, but he's not really close to Blink Dagger, and he really needs Blink Dagger and Epi. I don't know, I feel like if they were more adamant about their like rotations and just the way. Ooh, Ursa, is he smoking for this or did he walk?
I don't know, I didn't catch it.
It looks like they see though. He just hooked away his teammate from the Maroon. Oh, God. Okay.
Slayer walks
He just
in.
ghost walked.
The rest of enemy are already here. With the Moonlight Shadow out, Smash will be able to get himself a little bit further away, but the Roshan does go the way of the Radiant, and Aegis is picked up by Ewo. Turn around as Smash stuns through onto one, frozen, shielded up. And they'll try and battle the way through. Doomsday just rotting away onto the Ogre. But there's no mana, no stuns left really here for E-Wolves. All they need is the final Brain Sap to get that additional kill. The Slayer stunned by the arrow, and even with Doomsday hooking Smash away again.
I'm pretty sure this guy has hit more of his teammates with hooks than enemies. I'm not sure, but it's pretty close.
I wish one of our stats people, Lurker, she does like Sunstrike and hook counters. I really wish we had her here to do this because he missed the first hook at level 1 fight. Then he hit one, then he missed another one. So he was 1 and 3 already. Then he's died a couple of times up at top, missed hooks. He's hooked his teammates like 4 times.
Do those count as hit hooks, or is that still
I'm pretty sure it's
is that a missed hook?
like
Alright.
unless he's saving them from something specific.
Alright.
I'm pretty sure it's a missed hook.
Fair enough.
But I don't know.
Makes sense.
Maybe it's all
A
part of
creep
the deeper
hit
plan.
counts as like a fourth of a hit of a hook, maybe.
Where are you heading off to?
That fight was still very good for E-Wolves, though. Like, all things considered, even though the game's a little clowny and they've done some bad things, that helped salvage their game a lot. They got Arcanes on Smash. He's level 8 now, so he can push lanes with Sandstorm. He just needs to be way smarter about the way he like approaches Sandstorming lanes. He can't do it right in front of an Invoker. Like, it's just so insane. But he's pushing mid and now. If he gets his blink up, then the E-Wolves lineup can kind of actually just pick off all of their heroes and run them over. And EnemyGG will be in trouble. But he still has to get to that, and he's far away.
This Terrorblade has been kind of quiet.
He has been.
Level
He's
11.
probably waiting for his SNY, and I think they kind of want to wait until the Aegis runs out before they actually group up. But he is farming pretty efficiently. Man, I kind of made this joke when the patch first came out. I'm like, this is the return of the BSJ meta, because his rise of prominence was on the back of heroes like Juggernaut and Troll, and their like incredible efficiency in the jungle. Those heroes farmed almost more in the jungle than they did in lane. Oh, bottom's getting jumped on, but they miss Tornado, Ghost Walk, miss Hook. They do have Dust though. I think he might actually be dead. Yeah, because that's. Oh, never mind. He came out of Ghost Walk. So, oh, one more hit. He got it.
Nice.
I don't even think Doomsday's aiming anymore, man. He's going with the theory that if you throw enough hooks, eventually someone will land. He's working his way towards Ag so he can chain him out faster, I think. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if he saw this. Okay, they got over in the back with the arrow, but Abaddon's there. I don't know why Van even. Oh, actually, it's closer than I thought it would be, but. I mean, I was gonna say like maybe he doesn't have vision or something, but it's like when you're playing Pudge, you have to have like a knowledge of the timing of the creeps and lanes, or at least a decent, like you don't have perfect like this is where the creeps are at this second. But you should know. I think he's just having a great time. Ewo's jumping mid here. He's got a Blinks clap. He's just wasting Aegis on this guy. Actually, he's got his ult. He's gonna kill the Vengeful Spirit. The swap here, swap Van, or swap Smash back actually, and they turn back onto Ewo. Looking for the Ursa kill. Oh god. Frozen. Tornado's there. Oh, good blink dodge. The hook misses again. Not a surprise. Smash. Now the sentry's there so they can't Sandstorm and hide away. And maybe BSJ can sunder himself onto this Ursa Bear. Get the kill. Ewo. No blink. Yeah, there we go. Blinks away as the Sunder is in mid-animation.
Middle tower is under attack.
Let's Pudge. Doomsday. You're a comic man. You're a good lad. Ewo wants to go in on this, looks like. He's getting ready. Arrow. Slayer. Oh, threads the eye of the needle. The hook does land, though, on the Sovereign. Tornado. Yep. Ewo doesn't have Aegis anymore, but he's got his ultimate up. Maybe BSJ can right-click him down if that ulti wears off. And it looks like they will. One more click in from the Abaddon will secure the kill. And Doomsday hasted Pudge dead down and out. And this Van plus Smash combination, they'll stun, they'll hold, they'll get Sovereign's Abaddon, but at what cost? The buybacks come through from Pudge and the Ursa blink forward of the Frozen, looking for the Ogre, but they can't even kill him until the arrow comes through from Van. Finally securing that one, and the Terrorblade drops in the back end. Double buyback there, but a tier 1 tower, a good fight for Enemy. Still, a good amount of gold going the way of E-Wolves. Yeah, it was pretty even between the buybacks, I think. I honestly would say that probably favors Evils because they're going to be able to pressure this tower and push the lanes out. They need to use this time to get some nice wards up, though. Evo is chasing the courier. I don't think he's going to get that. He knows that the Invoker was Ghost Walked. He got hit by it. Smash is going to get picked up by it, though. That's tragic. Doomsday, you okay? Running away. Old Chihuahua, though, maybe not going to have such a good time. Hooks back. There we go. There we go. Doomsday with the beautiful. We'll count that one as a hit. That's what we've been waiting for. Count it. Yeah, that was good. There's no new items for Ursa though. That's a pretty important thing. Yeah, the buyback really hurt him. He does need to get more farm going. I don't know, like why they tried to push the tier 1. Oh, nice. Van just soloed him. He has Maelstrom now. Oh wow. With the all chat. Means? I don't know. It's probably Flame though, I'm sure. I mean, that's how we roll. See, I've got to get out of my comfy lounging position now. I've had my feet up on the table. I've got to go and Google Translate that now. But maybe we'll see Van pay for his insolence up at top. The Sunstrike scouts, but there's no swap to get the vision. Well, not in time. Let's see. I don't want to say it out loud. Just in case. Is that bad? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say. Oh, okay. Well, I Googled I doubt it's that bad. I have no idea what it means. He actually just keeps hooking him away from runes, like the Pudge does. They're just being clowns, man. He just hooked Smash with an empty bottle away from the bounty rune and took it. It's not even like he's close to 11 or anything either. Just, you know. Oh, that's a good combo there. Loom pays. They get the tower as well. So the translation, it's Rim. Like ITS space RIM. It's Rim. Google Translate has failed me. I'm sure there's some deep meaning to this flame, but I don't know what it is. BSJ Reflection catches the Pudge, but Slayer will not connect with the Tornado. Well, look with this Metamorphosis, maybe to push forward with a bit of damage. But they're lacking catch. They don't have someone who can actually go forward and find anyone. Pudge will do it for them, though, as the Ogre stuns up onto the Bane, and BSJ's in a good position here to output some damage onto Doomsday. The Pudge dropping low with the dust starting to wear off. I'm not sure if he can. No, he can't escape. Arrow onto an illusion from Van. Good stun. Down onto 2, and Ewo jumps in. Slayer deafening blast, but not in time. Sovereign with BSJ, the shield is up. Can this Terrorblade do enough damage? Van gonna drop to a couple more hits, and down he goes, but this Echo slammed the bloody ultimate from Sand King through onto that Terrorblade. I forgot what it was called. In all of my hubris, the swap back onto the Abaddon will get Loondon into a position where he's pretty much screwed as well. Epicenter is the name of the ultimate from Sand King. My sleep deprived brain.
It's okay. They're both rock guys. They both buy blink daggers. All the same. I'm sure they both rupture the earth, but regeneration spawns top for them. Yeah, this is kind of difficult now. This is the kind of fights that Abaddon does not like. Like, they're not actually grouped up enough, because now that Sand King is like, well, now he has his blink dagger, but the Sand King's been able to get some pretty nice stuns just walking in, because like enemy just have not been focused in the fights, and they haven't been really sticking together to the point where Abaddon can actually like save the targets he needs to save. Everyone's just getting picked apart. And now that they have blink dagger and Sand King, it's going to be an even bigger problem. So we'll see if EnemyGG can pull back together. I feel like if they keep splitting up like this and kind of farming and running around without like a direct purpose, they're going to keep getting picked off. Like, I don't know, BSG might die here. It's going to be pretty close. They would need Epicenter, I think.
Oh, they've got the hook into this member. Can he thunder in time? That's the question. He will get it back onto Doomsday, and Smash is just sitting there watching his teammate suicide into death. But Slayer, he has the definite blast. Smash, still good amount of HP. Stick charges, but he's dead. No way to get out of that.
That's one way. See, I was telling you, man, this is how, like, this is the exact style of play that EnemyGG enjoy to play. Like, they don't even have to make stuff happen. They just sit and wait. They all like TP counter gank when they go for a gank that is honestly kind of half-hearted. There's, if you like calculate the damage in that situation, the chances of them getting the kill are very low. If Sand King blink stunned and then did like a little sandstorm damage to Terrorblade and then he came back to the lane, then they could kill him with another Sand King stun, but they just didn't have enough damage to do it 100 to 0. So they get punished and they might lose 2 towers for it because they got meta up on Terrorblade.
With his S and Y and 2,000 gold saved up, so the trade-off here, he will go to the top lane. Roshan respawns in 40 seconds though, so if this tier 2 falls and enemy go to check that Roche pit, they'll get the Aegis for themselves, but TP is coming in from Sand King. Smash straight in with a Burrow Strike and then blinks himself away. Tornado barely scratched the backside of Smash. So the Reflector's down onto Pudge. The trade is there. They got tier 2 at top and now they're TPing back to try and defend this, but just look at BSJ. Alacrity with Bloodlust. Oh, well, when Bloodlust is leveled up, it's going to be an absolute beast pumping out this damage.
Yeah. I actually think I would have liked to see a like 2 points in slow kind of game instead of, or I mean, I guess if you don't want to max, you definitely have to max your stun on the hero. It's too slow, and then you just max your E because you go like 2 points in slow for level 3 because it's just like the best build up of him.
When they've done this before, I've seen him go for a 1-4-4 build though.
1-4-4 really?
On the Ogre, yeah.
I can kind of see why, just because.
But this was
really.
This was against this wasn't against an Ursa, so I don't think they needed the additional stun.
Yeah, it's just a little extra damage, and like as you get higher level, it's better. But he's very underleveled, so they have a pawn won't come in here. I don't think they saw this at all, so they're actually just okay. Well, they arrowed the Roche. They don't know they're invis though, so Limden's just gonna get blown up because he thought that he was gonna come over and scout, but was not aware that they were pawn molted. Doomsday going for another random YOLO hook maybe? Alright. You're gonna lose all his mana. Managed to bait out the Tornado EMP though.
The shield and heal. Slayer looks like he's okay until the dismember comes through. There's nothing to stop that Pudge ultimate. With that Epicenter through, Sophie will heal himself back up. Smash with Mjolnir static charge onto him. Where is that? Is that Van's item? Van has the Mjolnir full stun. BSJ out into the front lines. Reflects out to Van Marana, taking a chunk of damage down. So is the Ursa, with the illusion actually spamming down onto him. Ewo cannot blink away. The hook over to the side to swap back. This is going to be a pretty split fight here. Ursa's going to be the one to die though over the side, unless he turns and fights through it all. Can they keep him alive? Not quite. The Mistcoil finishes him off, and BSJ rejoins after dealing with the Pudge. Getting back towards, getting the band back together with the rest of his teammates. The Bane. Try and retreat, but that Pudge hook was pretty good. Split the fight, got BSJ's Terrorblade away from the rest of his team. But the movement speed on that hero is pretty insane. And Smash. That's
it's one of those things. Why? He could have been pushing out bottom, he could have been pushing out top. There's like 100 different things he could have done, but it's like, I'm gonna stun him. This is just the proven way. I don't know why I'm trying to understand it. It's not even just the proven way. It's like 90% of the Dota way. People just want to fight, man. But sometimes it's just not the right time to fight.
That is a very scary demon man. Terrorblade, please. I like the way you said it though. I'm just gonna stun him. Doesn't matter why, how, where, who, or what. I'm just gonna do it.
Under attack.
Terrorblade, how much damage is that? Closing on a 300 damage with alacrity on him. With the Bloodlust, plenty of attack speed. And then heading into discarding.
It's going to get more frightening late game as well. As the Vengeful Spirit gets more points in his aura, and as the Invoker gets more points in XOR, it's just like, that guy's going to be a monster. He doesn't even need damage items. Like, he just needs to tank up with Alacrity and Vengeur. He's going to do a lot of damage. Stay pause when our player's AFK. Alrighty.
Pudge needs to recalibrate his hook. .exe, you know, he's been hooking creeps instead of heroes.
I mean, he's getting close, not close, but he's going to get an Ags eventually, and then he'll just be ready to chain him out. It won't matter. He won't have to aim anymore.
The 4-second cooldown.
I think that's part of the problem. Like, once you get Ags, you really don't even need to aim anymore. But it's like, until then, you have to actually, you know, take a little more time with your hooks and make them meaningful. And some people play so much matchmaking Pudge, they might just be used to, like, I'm just going to throw them hooks out until they latch.
So, Slayer's Invoker. He had a tough lane. It was a little bit annoying, getting spammed out and forced back a lot. 25 minutes in, earn Orchid. He hasn't had the chance to really go and find pickoffs or anything like that. It's just been 5v5 clusterfucks non-stop for the past 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, and he's been dying in a lot of them early because he's really squishy, so he just gets stunned and dies to Ursa instantaneously. I don't really know what he needs. I guess he kind of needs, like...
Ghost?
It wouldn't be awful, actually, but...
Like, even a Yule Scepter would be pretty good for him.
Yeah, Yules would be pretty nice. It'd be a little better, I think. The Terrorblade, I think, is going to need a BKB eventually. Because otherwise he's just going to get, like, Sand King Epicenter initiated, and then Ursa's going to, like, Abyssal Blade him, and he's just going to die, probably. It'll be interesting to see what items he goes after, Scotty. He's pretty close to it, though. Yeah, I guess that would make him really hard to kill. I guess he doesn't really need the BKB with Abaddon. The thing is, the Abaddon just needs to make sure, like, Abaddon and Venge basically don't care about Ogre and Invoker anymore. Those heroes don't matter. Like, just follow VSJ, shield BSJ when he gets stunned. All of them, really. Just, like, their lives are BSJ. The thing is, they need to make sure that they're properly catching people. Like, with either an Ogre stun or an Invoker Tornado or something like that during, the time they're keeping him alive, because otherwise they'll just get kited around, and eventually he'll go down to, like, some huge combo from an Epicenter and, like, Brain Saps, like, Starfall Arrow, stuff like that. So, as long as they can stay together and fights, they'll be good.
This is definitely the period of the game where EnemyGG like to close it out. They just want to go and take a lane of ranks, get that advantage, consolidate what they have. I mean, what are we looking at right now? Enemy have barely a lead. It's a scratch. E-Wolves, they did have 2k net worth. They've just been pretty back and forth for the past 20 minutes or so. But this is definitely the period of the game, from 26 to 30 minutes in, where Enemy, I don't know if they're scared of the late game, or if they're just, like you said, due to this patch, which is a lot better for you, to get that early-ish advantage and really try and push up onto high ground if you've got the strength of this Terrorblade behind you. Oh.
They're just having a great time, man. Abaddon picked up his Ags, swap into Arrow.
Moondun's probably dead here. And then procs out, unless he just walks it off. Yep, Bane, he's gonna drop though. The shield forward. He won't. Oh, you're battling against BSJ, but he's not got the Sunder anymore, and you're down. This could spell the end for E-Wolves, honestly.
That was definitely bad. They still have meta for a while. They tried to go on BSJ when he had the Aegis instead of ignoring him. Like, they actually caught out a pretty good fight there with BSJF on the side, and then they tried to go on BSJ and burst him when he had Sunder up and Aegis. Even if they did burst him, like, I don't know if it would have been good. But he still got meta for like 15 more seconds or so, and they're probably just going to tear this tower down. Here comes an Epicenter. They did not see this coming, but they don't really have enough follow-up.
Where did that hook? Drag Sovereign back, no ulti up for 10 seconds, and Sovereign's actually dead there on the side. BSJ not dead though, and with Sunder still up, Aegis available, he'll swap back onto Frozen so he can just keep on going. Slayer hooked into Doomsday, and they've got him with a Brain Sap. That player is dead on my screen, but Fiend Script SJ doesn't really care too much with a swap back into the multicast. Ogre, MVP of that little skirmish there. Ursa respawning in about a second. They take the tier 3, they run away to lick their wounds.
They still manage to keep the Aegis up too. So they might just go back down mid once they're all alive with Abaddon ult. And if they actually fight together, I think the fight will be even easier for them. Especially since Epicenter is... I guess it'll be back up pretty soon before they can actually reassemble.
Aegis is only there for another minute or so. About a minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah, so they'd have to go straight away. But I don't think they're going to. They don't necessarily even need it. Like, he's so tanky. As long as Abaddon stays near him, they have swap, they have shield, they have the Abaddon ult, so he can just like tank up the epicenter damage for their whole team. I mean, they're in a very good spot. Ogre's actually closing in on Ags if that's what he's gonna go.
Oh, Smash!
Almost.
No, you've
Smash
already stunned to farm creeps, and the Ursa's gonna pay for it with a Sunstrike coming through. He's dead with no buyback available. Doomsday's hooked. Guess what? Off the mark. Not gonna catch anyone. Straight through the middle of 3 heroes, and Smash, Sandstorm. Yeah, it's up to blink away. No buybacks on either of them though. A tragic turn. Smash does have Epicenter in 7 seconds though. They can still defend this as long as they don't die or get picked off. BSJ just walks in. He's got Aegis to expend. He's got it for another 5 seconds. That's gonna
Just gonna use it to heal up maybe? Yeah.
Time to walk into the base. Epicenter coming in. He's going to blink now into the middle of 3, but it's not enough damage. BSG tanks through it all, swaps back onto the Bane, and down he goes. Fiend's Grip cancelled out with the dying breath of Bane. And GG is called.
I mean, E-Wolves definitely had this game within their grasp. They had pretty decent laning stage. They just took really weird fights. The Pudge just did not get enough done, and I don't know if it was because of the hero or just he wasn't able to land enough hooks, but he definitely had a pretty rough game. Every time I watch E-Wolves and like Infamous play, those teams like that, it's like they just don't even look like they're trying